In life and in trading, I always tell people that there are two types of skills that you need very well.
It's either I'm going to use this money to just be eating and paying rent, or I'll be trading with it. Because if I lose this money, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to eat?
What's your biggest weakness when it comes to your trading mindset?
I'm scared of losing money. Due to that, I had to follow so-called gurus. And
So-called?
Yeah, so-called.
This is Cheq-In with Cliff Cheqona, where we put traders to the ultimate test. Not just their strategies, but their minds. Today, we're sitting down with a trader who's faced the highs and lows of the market, a man who's earned the name Ike the Greatest. But is he really the greatest? Ike is here to challenge himself, to dive deep into his psychology, and to face the check-in test, a series of questions designed to uncover the truth about who he is as a trader. It's not about how much he's made, but how much he knows about his own mind. Will he hold up under the pressure? Will his answers align with his beliefs? By the end of this episode, you'll find out if Ike has what it takes, or if his greatest challenge still lies within. Let's see if Ike is really the greatest.
And few minutes into the trade, the market just shot to the downside.
Okay. What do you consider your greatest strength as a trader?
Let me just be honest with you.
Be honest.
I'm very He wasn't flashing anything for me to be like, wow, this guy is driving a Lambo, trading. I want to be like this guy. It's not even about the money, it's the freedom.
Okay.
And I don't care how long it's going to take me. I'm going to wait. I'm going to learn. I'm going to wait. And I'm going to take this as a career.
How do you typically respond when you are on a losing streak?
When I'm in a losing streak, or let's say I'm in a losing trade, one thing that I do is
Trading is a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game.
So I'm Cliff Cheqona, retail trader psychologist, and today we have
Ike the Greatest.
Ike the Greatest. All right, guys, today's conversation is going to be very interesting. Welcome back to Check-In with Cliff Cheqona. And this conversation is long overdue, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Really glad we're here now, you know.
I know. I mean, today we'll be testing your mental and your emotional resilience as a trader. How do you feel?
I can't wait.
You can't wait.
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, so we're going to start with some self-assessment questions, and later on we'll enter into what I call the check-in revealer.
Okay.
But first of all, bro, I know you, but let's talk to those who this is the first time they're seeing you. Who are you?
So yeah, I'm Ike. My actual name is Isaac Apia. I'm born in Ghana, from Ghana actually, and I've been in the industry for 7 years now. You know, yeah, pretty much like a very brief introduction about me.
Of course.
Yeah, and I'm an entrepreneur as well. I'm based here in Dubai, so yeah, it is what it is.
Okay, so first of all, anytime you see people who are very humble, this is how they edify themselves, Yeah, not too much. There is something much, guys. He is the greatest. Anyway, so first of all, I want to talk to the people watching us right now. That I told them that I don't just bring anybody to the podcast. I get it. People sometimes normally want to bring people who are saying they made $1 million, 200 million, whatever. It's up to them. But we bring people on the podcast to talk about real stuffs.
For sure.
Most importantly, psychological aspect of trading.
Yeah.
Now, it's not about how much the person makes. It's about what people can learn from the person and how honest the person can be. And so check-in basically is a conversation I have with traders. I don't know. I'm talking to you now, Ike.
For sure.
So when I say check-in, I'm basically making traders check in so that we can know exactly who they are mentally.
Okay.
Because you and I know that you can get the edge right. You can get every single thing right, your strategy, everything. But if psychologically, if you're not on point, if you're not mentally transformed, I know you believe this.
Of course.
Nothing changes. So straight up, bro. What are some of the psychological challenges you faced as a trader?
So I'm just going to begin with when I started, all right?
Okay.
So, when I started from a point of scarcity,
Okay.
I started in 2019, 2020. I was in China by then,
Okay.
And I was schooling. After school, I was working as well, And I just worked for 3 months and then COVID hit.
Oh,
So when COVID hit, the money that I had in my savings was just like 3 months savings, So I was like, now what do I do? Because I need to pay rent. COVID started in China, right? So
Right.
Nobody knew, when this COVID will be over. All right. So I was like, are we going to go back to work or what? Like, when are we going to resume? So I don't know if I need to spend this. Like, I had to take care of the money that I had, right?
Right.
So it's either I'm going to use this money to just be eating and paying rent, or I'll be trading with it.
Ooh.
So it was like that.
Right.
So the point of scarcity was at the point where I couldn't afford to lose anything.
Right.
Because if I lose this money, how am I going to pay my rent?
Okay.
How am I going to eat? But at the same time, I just don't want to keep the money and pay the rent and then I'm done.
Okay.
I needed to make money one way or the other, you know. So my psychological challenge started with, it's like one problem led to the other, you know. So the fear of losing money led to self-doubt. Because now I'm scared of losing money. So when I'm on the chat, I don't want to make any mistake, right? And due to that, I had to follow so-called gurus, like people that I used to look up to and love.
So-called?
You know? Yeah, so-called goats. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, go on, man.
So, I mean, I'll tell you the story. I mean, there was a time I saw a trade on GBP USD. It was a clear sell, like type A setup. I saw everything was on point. My stop loss, TP, everything. So I sold, you know. So I was just chilling, you know, just waiting for the trade to play out. And I went on Instagram, scrolling, and I saw a post, the same setup, posted by one guy that I used to follow. So-called. He was like, buy.
Okay.
So I had to close my trade, and then I followed him. Right.
Okay.
I looked into his. I went into the comment section. Everyone was saying, "Yeah, buy." I mean, the trade as well, you know. And that is actually something we call the bandwagon effect. Right?
Okay.
Where you follow people based on, like, if you make a decision based on what people are saying, like the majority, right? So I had to close my trade and literally follow what he said. And few minutes into the trade, the market just shot to the downside.
Okay.
You know, so which means I was right at that moment. But self-doubt led me to close my trade because I was scared of losing money. You get a point now?
I get a point now,
You
bro.
know? So at that point, if I had to go back and change my strategy, that would have been a bad move. It wasn't about the strategy. It was about me. Self-doubt.
What's about you?
You know? Yeah.
Wow. You've already started being honest, bro.
For sure. And that led to another thing as well.
Okay.
Because of the self-doubt now, okay, fine. After that loss, all right, because I followed him after the loss, I was like, nah, I got to believe in myself. I have to always focus on myself, right? So since I'm going to go solo on the analysis, I have to do it right.
Right.
And that is where over-analysis came in also. Because now I have to over-analyze the chart to the point where I'm not making any mistake.
Wow.
That was crazy as well because, you know, I felt like, wow. And with the over-analysis, I felt like, you know, trading is like a mirror. It's always going to expose who you are as a person, right? I'm that guy that I never doubt myself.
Ooh,
right?
That's what you believed.
That's who I am as a person. Like,
so the market tell you otherwise?
I never doubt myself. I mean, in person, you know, outside trading, I never doubt my potentials or whatever.
Okay.
You know? So when I was doubting myself, it was actually because I was, you know, trading from a point of fear, right?
Okay.
But the over-analysis is something that I realized that this is something I think I do in real life.
Okay.
It's not really about, you know, trade. This is something I do because I remember back in the days I would go to a supermarket with my wife just to buy a cup. Like we needed a cup,
right?
You know, just a normal cup. So we go to the supermarket, we go to the cup section. So many, I mean, same cup but different colors. All right. I'll get there and be like, which one should we choose? Is it the red, the blue, the green? We will spend minutes just to decide on which one to choose. I mean, this is just a cup. Just pick anyone and go back home.
Just a cup.
So that is over-analysis right there.
Right.
That is the same thing I was battling with the market, you know. So I think that was my longest psychological problem that I faced in the market, over-analysis.
You see, it's funny that you are saying this. So now people should really believe and they know that your trading life actually mirrors your actual life.
For sure.
So now, if you're listening to us right now, Ike started by letting us know his psychological challenges that was coming from the kind of things that he was going through in his life. And I love how honest you were. You said you were at a point where you need money.
Yeah.
And you need money. So what I mean by that is you need money and you need money now.
Yeah.
And at the same time that the one that you have needs to make more money. And so, you know, we know that the first rule in trading says only deposit the money you are willing to lose. So what you are basically saying that you were not willing to lose the money, but you wanted to make more.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So then, of course, that is going to cause some couple of few problems here and there. But again, guys, we want to get to know Ike more. The purpose of that is so that we can understand how other people watching us right now can also learn from the things that you went through as a trader. We're going to get to the part of how you fixed your psychology. the psychological aspect of your trading.
Yep.
Now, one question that I have for you right now is before we go to the self-assessment, and that is my favorite. We're going to start to assess you.
All right.
To really understand who you really are and how even myself I can really understand, because I love studying traders. And that is the purpose of Cheq-In, with Cliff Cheqona.
Yep.
So if you see me typing here, it means that I'm taking notes based on the things you're saying. Now, I'm going to ask you a couple of series of self-assessment questions. Now, you have to answer them honestly.
Okay.
As you can. All right?
Yeah,
So
right.
there are no right or wrong answers here, just the truth. You guys want the truth, right?
Right.
All right. So what do you consider your greatest strength as a trader?
So my greatest strength is basically, let me just be honest with you.
Be honest.
I'm very patient, bro.
Okay.
Very, very patient.
I believe you. The way you said it, so I'm very patient. I believe you. Okay.
I am. Like, I don't rush things at all. Even in life, I don't rush things at all. And that's the same thing I do on the chat. I'm not in the haste of getting a trade or a setup. Once I get into a chat, I get into the market, I just analyze if I have a trade that I need to take, I do it. If not, even if it's going to take me, let me just be fun. Even if it's going to take me years.
Right. To wait for a trade.
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
And I'm saying this to say that, how I started trading actually was back in China. As I said, I was studying my master's degree in international finance, which has nothing to do with trading. I mean, it has though, but it's basically import and export.
You're studying in China?
Yeah, sure.
So how do you say trading in Chinese?
Bro, Maui.
Maui.
Yeah.
That's very nice, right?
Maui.
Maui. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go on to the Maui conversation. Okay.
So, yeah. So, I mean, international trading basically imports and export of goods and services.
right.
But there's a point where the finance comes in, because if you import something from Ghana to, let's say, Dubai, you need to pay the seller, right? And in Ghana, we don't spend dirhams, so there should be an exchange. That is Forex, right? So over there, my teacher wrote Forex. I'm like, okay, Forex, cool. What is Forex? I mean, Forex is something that we all knew,
Yeah.
like Forex Bureau, exchange of money.
Right.
But I didn't know you could make money with Forex. All right.
Right.
And that whenever you are studying, you pretty much want to do something after school. You want to
For sure.
do something that has to do with your field. It's like that was the mindset back then.
Right.
If you are studying this, you want to end up with doing the same thing that you're studying.
Right.
So in school, I was like, international trading. Am I going to work with an international trading company or what? So when I came across trading, Forex trading,
Right.
I was like, wow, this is something that I am able to do
Okay.
after school. Since I had it in class, I'll be like, I went to school for this,
Okay.
And I didn't care how long it would take me to learn.
Okay. Where did that mindset come from?
Because, that is actually the patient, the patient.
Okay, so you are now trying to tell us, but it came from somewhere.
It came from somewhere actually,
Okay.
because I didn't actually enter into the trading space from the point where I saw people driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris.
So you had no peer pressure fueling.
Nothing.
Perfect. Got it.
The first person that I stumbled upon on YouTube was Jay Wayne. I don't know if you know him. He's not really popular like that, but Jay, amazing guy from the States.
Okay.
His psychology. I mean, I was following this guy. He was very open with who he was. He was working a job. He would wake up, at 5 a.m., trade, and then close his laptop, go and work. He would show us what he was doing. So it wasn't something that he wasn't flashing anything for me to be like, wow, this guy is driving a Lambo, trading. I want to be like this guy. It was basically what he was saying, the freedom. This is something I can do to, I can learn the skill, give me the freedom to be able to serve my church, to be able to serve my community, my family. So he was preaching more about the freedom.
Okay.
And something that you could do even, as long as you have Wi-Fi. So that was the mindset I came in with. I was like, wow, it's not even about the money, it's the freedom.
Okay.
And I don't care how long it's going to take me, I'm going to wait.
Wow.
I'm going to learn, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to take this as a career. So you can see where the patient comes in.
I can see
the
it now.
waiting. So when I got into the market, I didn't care at all. The losses, I didn't care. As long as I'm in this and I'm learning and I'm doing this, I don't care how long it takes.
Wow. So I'm saying wow because as simple as what you said is, it's what a lot of people are lacking. That the foundation is wrong because they met the wrong.
Facts.
I don't want to say people, but they made a wrong. They saw the wrong things in the beginning.
Yes.
Wow, there is a lot of questions though. Okay, so now we understand that your greatest strength as a trader is patient. Next question.
Okay.
What's your biggest weakness when it comes to your trading mindset? Because look, no matter how great you are,
Of course.
does that make sense? There should be something that you are aware of that. This one right here is my biggest weakness. It's not overshadowing you, but it's there.
Of course. It is there. You know, I'm going to say back to the overanalysis.
Overanalysis.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I like that. Straight up overanalysis. No need to. We don't need to even. It's like talking about the devil. Don't talk about it.
Nah, overanalysis. Like
Yeah.
but now I mean, of course, if I know that is my weakness, I'm definitely going to find a solution to that.
I know.
So I'm not just saying it's my weakness and that is it. You know.
Yes.
There are things I've put in place to make sure that I'm not overanalyzing the chat.
Right.
But looking at my weakness, I feel like that is something that stressed me a lot.
It did stress you, right?
Because that's who
I can see that.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you are being very honest, and I like this
Straight.
conversation so far. No, I mean there is going to be more of the things that you are going to tell us.
Yeah.
But then we're going to go through these self-assessment questions, and I hope you guys are understanding this. So the purpose of this self-assessment is for you guys that don't know how to self-assess yourself. Is that the right way of saying
Right.
it? Did I say well?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, his greatest weapon, all right, is that he has the right attitude in waiting. Patience. Would you say that is why you met an amazing wife of yours? Anyways, so, okay, so your biggest weakness also was overanalysis.
Yep.
And could be overanalysis
Yep.
if you take away the systems you put in place.
Yep.
Third question, bro. How do you typically respond when you are on a losing streak? Have you ever been on a losing streak?
Of course, bro.
How do you respond to that? Do you step back or do you push through? See this one right here? You gotta be careful now.
So,
because do you step back or do you push through?
When I'm in a losing streak, or let's say I'm in a losing trade, one thing that I do is I'm very calm most of the
Yeah.
time, because the trade that I'm in, it's not something that's gonna make me panic, even if I lose, right? And that is emotions right there. I don't let my emotions jump all over the place.
Right.
Right. So it's not even about the loss. It's about the reason behind the loss. Right. So if, let's say, you give me $100,000.
Right.
Right. And
I give you $100,000.
Yes, you can give me, right?
Okay. Yeah, sure, for sure.
And then
No, why not?
I see a trade. GBP USD, Euro USD, buy.
Okay.
Then I risk 90% of this capital. That is
Right.
$90,000.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then I'm losing this trade. Are you telling me I'm gonna just be chilled and be like,
No, of course not, bro.
I'm
If
not.
you are chilled, losing that and 100,000 is all that you have, then something has happened to your mind. Something is wrong. We need to call 911.
of course.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So definitely I'm not gonna be chilled on that.
Right.
Right. No matter how much of a good trader or experienced I am, I could be in the market for 100 years. Nobody's gonna be chilled.
It's true.
Losing 90% of your capital.
It's true.
So whenever I'm in a losing streak or I'm in a losing trade or whatever, most of the time I'm just laid back, because I don't risk something that I cannot afford to lose.
Ooh, so your risk tolerance,
Of course.
you know it.
Of course. Because I know what causes me to be emotional.
Guys, did you hear that? He knows what causes him to be emotional.
For sure.
Self-awareness.
Fact. So most of the time, you need to assess yourself. Personally, as I said, if I need to risk this amount of money, I know that for sure I'm gonna be emotional, no matter who I am. If we should start laughing right now,
Right.
there should be a causative factor that triggered us to laugh.
It's true.
So the emotions are there, but there is something that caused us to laugh. Like 2 days ago, my neighbor, she's from Egypt. She came to my place and she brought her kid. So this kid was playing with me. She wasn't really laughing. She was just like, she's just like, I think 1 year old or so.
Okay.
And then I just said, peekaboo.
All right,
When I said peekaboo, she started laughing.
Okay,
And I
something
was like,
triggered.
wow.
Okay.
So now I know what would trigger this baby to laugh.
Okay, so the next time when you say peekaboo and the baby doesn't laugh, what do you think is wrong?
When I say peekaboo, if the baby doesn't laugh, then I feel like,
Then you know
okay,
something
maybe
is wrong.
something is
somewhere.
wrong.
Probably sick.
Something is wrong.
Oh,
So
okay.
now I know what triggers the baby to laugh.
True.
So personally, I've assessed myself. I know what triggers me to be emotional.
I like that.
So therefore, I'm not going to be emotional because I know what triggers it.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So now everybody goes through a losing streak.
Of course.
And what you do during your losing streak is what matters. Not the
course.
losing streak happening,
Nah.
because it happens to everybody.
It happens.
I had one. When I lost our dog Mantle,
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah.
That whole month, I didn't make no money. And I didn't care about money. I was
Yeah.
like, man, like, I never knew I could cry over a dog. And so in life and in trading, I always tell people that there are two types of skills that you need very well: adaptability and adjustment.
Fact.
You see, adaptability is the ability for you to be able to adapt to something over a period of time. Adjustment only happens in the short term. So a lot of traders wants to adjust in an adaptability season. It doesn't work like that. So when you, let's say if you go and you want to wear, maybe let's say they saw you wear big trousers, very big, right? And you know the kind of suit that when you raise up your hand, then it's like here is going up. Okay. So let's say you want to trim that, right?
Yeah.
You adjust. You don't adapt. If you adapt to that, bro, like that's no vibe. So you have to adjust that suit to make it better.
Fact.
Right? So adjustment is a short-term action. Adaptability is long-term. So if now we are in Dubai now, so we have to adapt to living in Dubai,
Yeah.
right? But if let's say we walk into the studio, we can only adjust in the studio. So the traders need to understand the difference between adaptability and adjustment. And I think you have been able to understand that very well. And that is what has, so you're able to adapt to the conditions of the market, to be patient, to learn.
Fact.
And when things are not going well, you adjust because you understand exactly what triggers your emotions. Very powerful, yeah?
Fact.
Bro, like when we finish answering these questions, I'm going to take your analysis and bring it back. You're not going to see it today, right? You're going to see
of
when the
course,
video
of
drops.
course, yeah.
So how are you looking forward to that?
I mean, you are the doctor, so I just came to you.
So
I
you're the
mean,
doctor.
yeah, treat me.
So treats me. All right, cool. So now next question is, when you make a profit,
Yeah.
which I know you make a lot, bro, I've been seeing your videos.
By God's grace.
Amen. How does it affect your confidence for future trades? I'm asking this because both losing trades and winning trades, they're both bad.
Yeah.
In a way. Of course, profit is good, but winning trades could be bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't receive profit. But then, bro, how does it affect you when you're making more money? When you're having a good week?
When I'm having a good week, actually, it affects me in a positive way and also in a negative way, though.
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah, in a negative way, I feel like I'm on top of the market, but that's not something that I look forward to. I don't want to feel like, I got this, whatever I say, it's going to go, I don't want to feel that way.
You want to be a goat?
No. I'm not a goat, trust me.
Yeah.
And the only goat I know is God, trust me.
Sheesh.
I don't know any other goats apart from God.
Okay.
So, I mean, we all
He's the greatest of all time, isn't he?
Yeah, of course.
Amen.
We all make mistakes. So, I mean,
Right.
he's a goat, Yeah. So, but in a positive way, I mean, it makes me feel like, I know what I'm doing,
Right.
because at the end of the day, we put in so much work to learn. We put in so much work to better ourselves, to become
Right.
better, better people,
Right.
in order to, be good traders as well.
Right.
So if I'm seeing the end results as profit, it makes me feel like, you know what, I'm on the right track. I need to, just keep on going, Yeah. So pretty much, it hasn't really changed anything though.
Right. So whether you are winning, you're losing, same mindset.
Same mindset.
Same mindset.
Same mindset.
I like
Hasn't
that.
changed anything.
I like that. I mean, a few more self-assessment questions. Then we're going to go on to the check-in revealer.
All right.
I love the check-in revealer. You're going to love it.
Can't wait.
Okay, so what's the longest you've gone without taking a trade? Because you said you can be patient for 1
Yep.
year. 2 years? Okay. Anyway, so what's the longest time you've gone without taking a trade? And how did it feel to wait that long?
Okay, so with the longest, I don't want to put in like events or whatever, because I mean that is something that that couldn't have been avoided. But I'm behind my chart, but I'm not taking any trade. Right? That was I think it was like 3 weeks or a month.
Oh, is that recent?
No, not recent. Like I think 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I was like, yo, okay. Anyway, so 3 weeks,
Yeah.
you didn't take no trades for 3 weeks.
No.
What were you doing during that time?
Yeah. So with the 3 weeks or let's say a month. All right?
Okay, let's just say 1 month,
Yeah.
4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in a losing streak.
Okay.
And I had to just back off and work on myself. All right. Because whenever I lose a trade, I try to go back to the trade. I try to assess the trade. Why did I lose this trade?
Okay.
What can I do better to improve? I just want to make sure that all these things are in point. Is it about me? Is it about the market? You know, because losses is not just about, you know, losing on the chart. You could win on the chart, but you lose. I mean, personally, you will lose. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I'm making sense.
I understand very well.
Yeah? So when I lose a trade, I just want to make sure that I'm assessing myself. I call that the advanced self-review.
Okay.
Right? I want to make sure that, okay, was I in the right state of mind when I was taking this trade?
Okay.
You know, was I in the right state of mind when I lost this trade? What
Okay.
was I doing before I took this trade? How was I feeling before I took this trade? Right? I want to go back and assess myself. So when I was in that losing streak, that was what I was doing. I went back, just trying to assess myself. I stayed away from the live market.
Okay.
Went back to the demo account. You know.
Okay.
I was trading though, but it was demo.
I get it. I feel you.
Right, because I wanted to work on myself.
Okay.
You know. So when I wasn't trading live, when I wasn't taking, even when I was seeing very type A setups, I was still not taking it.
Wow, discipline.
I wanted to make sure that I'm good before I come back. So that when I come back and I lose a trade, I know that, okay, you know what? It's okay. At the end of the day, I worked on myself.
Okay.
But if, as I'm working on myself, I come back and take a trade and I lose, I'll be like, why did you take this trade? You should still focus on, you know, working on yourself.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
Right.
I think it's...
Wow. So, but how do you analyze yourself? Is it journaling?
Yeah, I do.
So you journal your emotions?
Yeah, Notion.
Do you have a diary?
I do. Notion, actually.
Okay.
I do like writing a lot.
How about you?
I have like books beside me, and I also like Notion. You know,
Okay,
Notion,
I know
right?
Notion. Yeah, you like putting stuff there.
Exactly.
Is there any secrets there we need to know? Something?
Not really secret though, but
No
you know,
secrets?
this is just like personal.
You know, your wife might watch this, so be careful. No, I'm kidding. So I just want to make sure you know diary. I wonder what is in men's diary. Okay. Anyways, so,
I write a lot, bro.
Yes. So,
I write.
but does anybody read that apart from you?
It's not really something. It's not. You know what I write.
Okay, I'm listening.
I can even show you on my phone. Like, I just like to list things that I want to do. Let's say I wake up today.
Okay.
All right. So today, I'm gonna go to the gym.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk with my mentees.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a podcast with Cliff. I just want to write it down.
Oh.
Something like that.
So you always visualize. So would you say that have you ever gotten to a point in life where your prefrontal cortex shuts down? What I mean by that is, do you get to a point in life where you don't see the future? Do you ever get there?
I do though.
Okay, so when you get there, does the writing of the things you're writing down helps you?
It helps.
Do you know why I'm asking you this? Because I want people to understand that we all get blocked sometimes. You don't see the future, and that is what causes mild depressions. So anytime that your prefrontal cortex shuts down, you don't see the future. You're like, oh my God, how am I going to make it? I blew my $100,
Yeah.
and how am I going to make it again? So writing things, seeing something bigger than yourself, and so on and so forth, really, 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 really is important. But I'm going to connect this to the next question so that we wrap up the self-assessment and we'll go to the check-in revealer. Now, when you see a perfect trade setup, what emotion hits you first? This is very important. Let's say A setup, boom. Is it excitement, fear, or something else?
So it's like a mixed feeling though.
Okay.
But when I see a type A setup, all right?
Do you imagine the Lambos?
No.
You don't?
It's not really about the Lambos though. But I feel like, it's a money day,
Oh, money day.
I feel like, it's a good setup.
Right.
I'm going to take it because you know what? This is what a lot of traders do. When traders are in a losing trade, all right? They tend to be fearful. No. When they are in a losing trade, they tend to be hopeful.
Yeah.
Hoping that the trade will reverse.
Right.
When they are in a winning trade, they tend to be fearful.
Yeah.
Right? Because what if the trade reverses and I lose money? But I do the opposite.
Okay.
When I'm in a winning trade, when I see a type A setup, I'm hopeful. I'm looking forward to scaling.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So whenever I see a type A setup, this is my mindset. Like, okay, I'm hopeful for the day. Let's see. But I'm not really like, I just want to say, okay, let's see what the market will give us today. Okay. I just want to be neutral, by the way. I don't want to come in thinking, okay, I'm going to make money, I'm going to lose money. Coming from the neutral standpoint, but hoping to, of course, kill the market. Okay. Yeah. So when I'm in a winning or when I see a type A setup, I'm hopeful. When it's a negative trade or when it's a negative setup, I'm not fearful though, but I'm looking forward to close it.
Okay. Interesting. I like that man said.
Yeah.
very good reverse engineering mindset here.
What's that called? Reverse engineering.
Yeah, you've changed the whole thing to bring it to do it from another. It's a very good point. You see, in psychology, we call something cognitive diffusion.
Fact.
And that is when, let's say, for example, somebody crosses you with their car and you don't want to be angry. So you go like, oh, this guy probably might be a doctor. He's going to save a life. So you don't want to get angry because you see, your mind does not know what is real and what is not. It's what you feed it.
Okay.
And that is where a lot of people don't understand the power of the mindset in trading. I remember a funny story. I posted a picture on my Instagram and I told the community we are going to fast. So the people that are successful were like, wow, bro, I like this.
Very
nice one.
necessary.
And the poor ones came. So the broke ones came to the page and said, why do you have to connect fasting to trading? It does everything has to be religious. I said,
Hey.
dude, the fasting is not for trading. It's for the trader. So if you can restrict yourself and delay gratification for food and for other things, eventually it goes into your trading. What people don't understand is that there is something that you need to do to you, the trader, in order for it to reflect in your trading.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't understand that. Do you know why I'm saying these things now? Because we're about to go into the check-in revealer.
Okay.
So we're about to now see. Okay. Guys, this is my favorite part. The check-in revealer is the part of the segment whereby we now ask the guests questions that if the answer he gives can contradict what you've already given.
Okay.
And it's going to be interesting now. But you know why I don't care here? Because Ike, the greatest, he has been honest from day one. Because the conversation we're having now, I've heard most of them before. Because we've been talking and so on and so forth. So I'm glad that people are getting to hear this now. Now, the first question to see where we are now in terms of everything you've been telling us. Because as I said, with Cheq-In Podcast, the main goal is to make sure that every single thing you're saying, we get to learn the truth.
Yeah.
So it's time for us to find out, or let me say, this is the part of the show where it's about uncovering the reality of your career. In other words, the real trading side of you. So how often do you stop trading completely during a losing streak? How often? I don't know if my question is making sense. Let's say, for example, after a loss, do you feel confident that your next trade will be a win? Or do you second guess yourself? So let's say if you're in a losing streak right now.
Yeah.
You've had a losing streak for 3 days straight.
Okay.
The fourth day, really? What is the emotion you're going to feel?
So, I don't go in thinking that, because I lost, 3 trades in a row, the fourth one should be profitable. I don't do that though. And I don't feel fearful when I'm getting into a trade after a losing streak,
Okay. So you don't second guess yourself?
I don't.
Would you say that majority of the things that makes you who you are now as a trader, it's not really coming from trading, but it's influenced by trading, and you really came into the space very well structured, probably a little bit, transformed, so because you have a mindset that is really powerful. Does that make sense? I don't see you complaining. Even if you're going to complain, probably you write it down and say, okay, listen, this is how we're going to do it. But I'm just saying this to say that the answer that you're giving right now makes perfect sense. Because second guessing yourself will show a different part of the self-doubt again. So that means perfect, right?
It means I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly. But then you do know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So how then often do you adjust your trading strategy based on how you are feeling in the moment? So do you understand what I'm saying? This is a very important question because a lot of traders who are not experienced don't know that they are even adjusting their strategy. And you need to adjust your strategy sometimes. Yeah. So it's not a problem here. But how often do you do that? Because that is where you will find out if it is coming from a place of tactical or emotion. So how often do you do that?
So I don't often adjust my strategy, by the way. I only review. Or I like to backtest.
Okay.
You know, I don't really adjust. I don't really change anything. I don't really add anything or change anything though.
Okay.
Sometimes it could be the market condition,
Okay.
you know, or I just have to maybe sit back and maybe wait for maybe it could be a choppy market or whatever.
Okay.
So adjusting my strategy might not make sense at that point,
Okay.
you know. So
Okay.
I often don't, you know, adjust, but I like to always revisit my strategy. I always like to, I mean,
Revisit it.
yeah,
Okay,
of
I like
course.
that. To make sure that you're still using that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make
so
sure that I'm on point. you
okay.
know.
So emotions.
Emotions.
What would you say is your? Are you an emotional trader?
No.
Okay, that's all I want to hear. That's a question we ask on every guest. Like
Yeah.
that's a question we ask every time with every guest. Okay, so you heard it. Ike is not an emotional trader. Have you ever cried?
I have.
Okay, so he's not anymore. Okay, now listen, crying here does not mean that Ike is an emotional trader. And sometimes when we say somebody's an emotional trader, it's not weakness. Based on what Ike is telling us, Ike, you are emotionally intelligent. That is where you are now. Because I have cried.
Yeah.
You know, I have prayed over my account. God of Abraham, God of Moses. Bro, the day that account blew, it's like I was angry at God. What do you want God to do? You over leveraged. Buying the dip.
Of course.
Okay, so what is your straight up
Yep.
the emotions that you can tell that for me mine was irritation
Okay.
mostly every single time that I'm losing. I don't know, I forget 2015
Okay.
I said if it will blow, let it blow. You know what I mean? If the account will blow, let it blow. And it blew. The market doesn't know you.
Yeah.
So whatever they are saying, the market doesn't care. Mine was irritation.
Okay.
What was yours?
It's a tough one though.
Yeah. If you dig deeper, you can find it.
So mine was actually comparing myself to others though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I used to do that a lot. You know, when I started trading, I used to look up to people. I used to like, why are they always making profit? What are they doing right?
That you don't know.
Like, what is happening? You know, it's like anytime I see them, they're always posting blues, making money here and there. And it's always like negative for me. What is it? I think it's kind of irritation though.
It's
I mean,
irritation.
it leads to that though.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much me comparing myself to others.
Right.
Because I only feel irritated when I compare myself.
Right.
You know, on my own, I never feel that. On my own, I'm like, oh, I lost again. I need to
Move
go
on.
back.
Learn.
Yes, or learn or move
pushing.
on or wait for the next. But once I compare myself to the next person, I'm like, nah, what are they doing? What are they seeing that I'm not seeing?
Right.
You know, so the comparison actually.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
So you see, we already know. We want to stay on emotions a little bit and then move on and finally get to the part where we start wrapping up with scenarios. We understand that when it comes to emotions, it's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
The basic emotions are normal. Complex emotion is
Yeah.
what we don't want.
Yep.
So the basic emotion, you feeling maybe
Yeah.
angry because
Yeah.
you lost a trade. Those things are normal.
Yeah.
But the complex emotion is what we spend time meditating on, is what we don't want.
The mixed one, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
the mixed ones. We don't want that. Now, so that emotional state during that time, that means you telling me what the reason why I asked you the question is so that I will know that you know the emotion that was affecting you. And that means you did suffer some analysis here. And you knew that it was irritation or some form of unnecessary irritation.
Yep.
Okay, so the next thing I want to ask you is that you told us that you are patient to wait for a trade setup.
Yep.
You said you can wait for a year. I believe you. Now, when you spot a potential trade setup, do you feel the urge to jump in quickly? Now, I'm asking this question for a reason.
Okay.
You see, back in the days, you needed money.
Yep.
Well, okay, we all still need money.
Yeah, of course.
But the emotional state during that time, how much you needed and how fast you needed it, was influencing your decisions.
Yep.
Would you say right now, based on the results you have seen, it has also influenced your trading positively? Meaning that the less fast money you need, is it helping you also to trade well?
Okay. So, you know, When I see a setup, I don't quickly jump in though.
Okay.
I do jump in once I see my confirmations. I mean, that's what I do. But I
Right.
don't feel like, wow, this is setup. I just quickly have to jump in. Because,
Right.
I mean, I don't want to jump in technicals because we are not really focusing on technicals though.
Right.
But technically, if I see a trade that, matches everything I'm looking for,
Right.
I mean, why should I wait? I get in, but I don't get in with the edge of I need to make money.
Okay.
Because back in the days, as I said, I was, eager to make money.
Okay.
And also I was scared because, that was the little that I had,
Okay.
So that caused, fear of losing money, right?
Okay.
But now, how I solved that problem was actually me, building a portfolio just for trading. And I had to detach my emotions from that account.
Okay.
So like that account is gone. All right.
Okay.
So I'm not really eager to make, even though of course I need money, I need to make money, but I'm not really eager to make that money though.
I wanted to talk about portfolio right there.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the real-time scenario test. I was talking to a group of people in a conference a few weeks back.
Okay.
And I was telling them that a lot of traders are saying they're not profitable because they're not just grateful for the profit they're making.
Okay.
So let's say if you have $100 and you make 10% on top of the $100, it's $10.
Yeah.
But $10 cannot buy you the Mercedes. It cannot buy you the house.
Yep.
So you're gonna feel like you've not made no money.
Yeah.
But that $10 can take care of your groceries. Would you say at some point did you feel like that? That even though maybe you were seeing blues, it felt like you were not being profitable
Yep.
in the beginning because it couldn't solve the problem or the goal you attached to that capital.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way?
I felt that way.
A lot of people are feeling this way, brother. And I feel like, this time around, I want you guys to really see this seriously here. Before we go to the real-time scenario, if you're listening to us right now, this is one of the most serious problems a lot of traders have. And I would like Ike to even, in a few seconds,
Yep.
tell you guys something that will change somebody's mind right now. Because if you have $100, if that is all that you have, there is nothing wrong with that. We all start from somewhere.
Of course.
So, but then 10% of that is a good business.
It's a good money.
It's not good money.
Yep.
It's good money.
Yep. 10% off.
It's good. It's not.
100.
It may not look good,
But it's 10%
but it's
though.
good. It's 10%.
Of
Exactly
course.
what I'm saying. So it's good percentage. You guys understand what we are saying?
Fact, good percentage. Yeah.
But then it may not look big, but it's good business.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to be happy about that. You're not going to be happy about that because it cannot buy the Mercedes.
Yep.
And that is where you said something very interesting. You said the people that you started seeing in the beginning, they didn't put pressure on you because they were not talking about the Lambos and
Yes.
the mansions that they
Fact.
rented. Even, anyways, so what we are basically saying is, guys, if 10% of $100 is $10, it may sound like it's small, but be grateful.
Yep. Of course.
One day, that same motivation that if you're able to use $100 to take care of your groceries for 6 months,
Yep.
eventually you will start leading into investment with your profit. That's how life works.
Of course.
And so I wanted us to talk on the portfolio part here because I feel like every single thing Ike is saying today, one of the things that I've picked up from this conversation, this is not the analysis though.
Yep.
This is just,
Yeah, of course.
because analysis, bro, like it's coming. Anyway, so one of the things that people need to understand is that he says something very powerful here. He said he was patient because of this, because of that. He spoke about portfolio and how, he was not rushing because of this. There is an element I want you to learn from this conversation here. Very, very important. Now, before we wrap up, I'm going to let you tell them something.
Yep.
But then we don't want to keep the audience too long.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the real-time scenario here. I'm going to give you how this one works is I'm going to give you some scenario.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where we test your cognitive. So I'm going to give you some scenario. And if I give you this scenario, you're going to tell me what you would have done in real time.
Okay.
First of all, there is breaking news.
Breaking news.
Din, 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 right? Okay. That directly impacts the market you are trading.
Okay.
Your favorite pair was what?
Good.
XAU
Yeah.
USD. Okay, so XAU USD or your technical hypothesis. XYZ happens, I will do XYZ. Shows a strong setup. But the news contradicts it.
Yep.
Everything shows that this is going to clean buy. But the news is like, ew, it's not going to buy. Do you stick to your plan or do you pull out based on the news?
I'm good. I'm sticking to my plan.
You sticking to your plan?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I do is once I analyze the market, I see a buy. I mean, everything. I mean, I tick the boxes. Everything is a buy. And the news comes in, and when it goes down, I'm okay. Like because I feel like I did everything I had to do. If I should see this 10 times, I'm gonna take it 10 times.
Powerful.
Wow.
So you guys heard it. Listen, what would you have done? Okay, let us know in a comment. Second scenario.
Yep.
You are in a winning trade.
Yep.
But it's close to your take profit.
Okay.
Very close.
Very close.
Ooh. You are feeling the urge to move your stop loss to secure your profit.
Yep.
Do you adjust your stop loss or you let it play out as planned? Okay. Now, this one right here is no right or wrong answer. It's scenario. What you have done?
Scenario. I will just manually close the trade.
You close it?
Yep.
Okay, so let's say, for example, you're going for 100 pips.
Okay.
And then the trade reaches 92.
Okay.
You close it?
90. I'll close it.
You close the trade?
Yeah.
Okay. It's good. All right? Like, these are all scenarios, what you would have done.
Yeah.
Okay, so last scenario, you've taken 3 consecutive losses in one day.
Okay.
And you see a perfect trade setup that day. You have 10 seconds to decide. Do you take the trade or do you walk away? 10 seconds.
I walk away.
You walk away? Perfect. All right, then. So, listen, bro. I have one question for you.
Okay.
Of course, I know that you have been training for a while. You have gone through different psychological, pitfalls.
Yep.
And you survived. You said you're not a goat. And
I'm not.
I believe what you mean by that, meaning that you have gone through experiences that you survived. And that is the difference between you and those that are not there yet, experience. In one word or in few sentences,
Yeah.
what would you tell somebody who is going through turmoils and pitfalls, stopping them from becoming the trader they want to become?
So, I would say, first, review yourself.
Review yourself, self-assessment.
Yeah. Know who you are. And then go through that process where you will be transformed.
Okay. Yeah.
Because as I said, trading is just going to expose exactly who you are as a person.
Right.
I feel like that is the first thing that you have to do. So let's say you go to the doctor, right? You are sick. The first thing a doctor is going to do is to assess you.
Okay.
It's not just right away going to give you some medicine here and there because, you're not feeling well. What is wrong with you?
Right.
I want to know first what is. So you need to find the problem before the solution. Right? Because the solution might be dangerous if you don't know the problem.
Okay.
All right? So the first thing that you need to do is to first of all analyze yourself. Know who you are.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, guys, self-assessment is key.
It is.
You guys are going to learn a lot. And in order for us to keep on doing this Cheq-In podcast, you guys need to really be learning a lot from this podcast. So one more question before we go, Ike.
Yep.
The analysis is going to come out when the video goes live.
Yep.
So our guest doesn't see the analysis before it goes live.
Okay.
If we rank you,
Okay.
your psychology in a negative way, how are you going to feel?
Okay. I mean,
All right, bro. Don't answer that yet. And I want to keep our relationship, but I'll also be very honest, with what we come out with it. You're gonna see the analysis when it comes out in the video, and so so this was a good conversation.
Yep.
I enjoyed this time with you.
I did as well.
And I hope people learn from this as well.
I learn a lot from you, by the way.
Oh, you do?
Like, do I have to tell you this?
I just, I'm just trying to.
No. Like, bro, like I really do learn a lot from you. I mean, working with you, a lot. So just be honest with me. Assess me well.
Okay.
Just go straight.
So that I can,
because we are all work in process.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's why I don't call myself a goat.
Right.
Even in my trading community, when I send I don't send signals, by the way, but let's say when I send a trade idea, right? I don't be like, it's a buy, let's go in for a buy. Right. I'm giving you a scenario, what I'll do if the trade goes up.
Okay.
What I'll do if it goes down. Because I'm not perfect. Okay. Right? I'm not saying this to say that I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
But I want to be neutral.
Okay.
You understand? It helps me as a trader as well. I'm saying this outside trading, like this is who I am. I like corrections. I like people to, I just always want to be neutral.
Okay.
So I just want you to be real with me.
Okay. So Ike want us to be very honest with the analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, Ike the greatest did check in today. And here is his results.
Before we reveal the check-in results, let's break down how we rank. Each trader is scored across 5 categories: emotional resilience, self-awareness, cognitive flexibility, discipline and patience, and consistency versus contradiction. Every score reflects how well they manage their mind, adapt to change, and align their actions with their knowledge. A perfect 10 means mastery, while lower scores highlight areas for growth. Now let's see how Ike measured up. And now it's time to see what they reveal about Ike the Greatest. Is he truly as resilient as he believes? Or is there more beneath the surface? Let's start with emotional resilience. In the beginning, Ike struggled with overtrading, making decisions fueled by fear and desperation. But he's come a long way since then, learning to manage those emotions. Yet that past pressure still lingers, just below the surface. 7 out of 10. Next, we have self-awareness. This is where Ike shines. He doesn't shy away from the hard truths. He knows his strengths, he knows his flaws, and he's not afraid to face them. That honesty earned him an 8 out of 10. Then there's cognitive flexibility. Ike has learned to adapt over time, shifting his approach when needed. But in those high-pressure, real-time moments, he still finds himself challenged. He's flexible, but there's room to grow. 7 out of 10. Discipline and patience. Ike has worked hard to build these traits, but it's a constant effort. It's not yet second nature, and that effort shows. 7 out of 10. But the real challenge? Consistency versus contradiction. It's easy to know the right moves, but harder to make them when the pressure is on. Ike's answers showed a gap between what he knows and what he does. 6 out of 10. So what's the final verdict? Ike's overall score, 7 out of 10. He's a trader with immense potential, but his greatest challenge remains himself. The mind is a battlefield, and mastering it is a journey that never truly ends. This is Check-In, where we go beyond the charts to reveal the real story. Today we've seen that even the greatest have their struggles.